Up until now, all your classes have had title blocks that were already prepared for you by Shalimar or by me. But there will come many times when you need to set up your own drawing or change some drawing or something. So we need to have some experience with setting up a drawing pretty much from scratch. In this assignment, you will set up almost everything in your drawing. Now, it says here you will open this drawing called Basic Title Blocks, and when you open it, it will look like this. So I have given you the border lines and just a little bit of text in here set up already. But there are no layers, there are no styles, there are no nothing. So here's some of the things you can do. First, set up some layers, and you do that right here. So we're in the Home ribbon, and right here in the Home ribbon is the Layer Properties, and it doesn't matter whether you're in Paper Space or Model Space to do this one. It opens. There's not much there. And if you're on a narrow screen, it might look like this. It won't be, the ribbon won't be all stretched out. It'll look like this in blocks, but there's the Layer Properties. So when you open the Layer Properties, it's pretty empty. And this button here with the shining sun on it is New Layer. If you forget that, that's okay. Just hover over these buttons until a label pops up. It'll tell you what it is. So then you type your new layer name. Click on the color in your new layer, and this will open up. And use the index color thing, that's easier, and select the color you want. And OK. Then, back in the Layer Manager, click on the Line Type button here. It'll probably say Continuous right now. And let's say you want to make a center line. Well, you won't see center line in this list of lines. AutoCAD, those things all take file space, so AutoCAD doesn't load them until you tell it you want them. So, to go get let's say a center line type, you push that button called Load. And here's a big old long list of all the possible line types. You need to know that AutoCAD makes all of the dashes twice as long as they should be for mechanical drawings. So if you just clicked center, you wouldn't get what you want. It would be too long. So click center 2, that makes the dashes half as long in AutoCAD speak, but just right for us. And the same thing is true for hidden lines. You want hidden 2 instead of plain old hidden. And when you have selected your line, click OK. That will load it into this list of choices, but that doesn't mean it's loaded into your Layer Manager yet. So click that and now tell it OK, and that will load it into your Layer Manager. And now see Center 2 is in there. Now click on the line weight part of that Layer Manager and select the line weight you want. And you will remember in ASME, thin lines are 0.3 and thick lines are 0.6. So pick the one you want and OK. Now let's make some text and dimension and leader styles. So those are all kinds of annotation. Therefore, we need to go to the Annotate tab. And the first panel here in Annotate is for text. Click that small corner arrow to open the text style window. And you will need to make a new text style. So push New. And you can give this a name that you want. And from the drop-down list, choose the font name. And for us, we want Arial. Something important to remember is leave the height set at 0, which seems counterintuitive, but the thing is, if you put a height in here, and then you go to dimension something, and your dimension is scaling things by some factor, you're going to have this height times some scale factor times something else, we don't even know what it is, and you will get a text height that's all fouled up and we can't figure out why. So best advice is leave that at 0, and we'll set the height in the dimension style or wherever we're setting our height. Another thing to watch out for is avoid this annotative thing. That is trouble. It's a wonderful idea and we wish it worked, but so far it doesn't, so stay away from that one. So there's your new text, and when you're ready to go, you can tell it apply and OK. Now on to the next panel, dimensions. Click the little down arrow for dimension style. And at this point, when you first start, there'll be only AutoCAD's default standard style, and you could just click modify that one if you want. Later on, when we're putting tolerances in our drawings, we'll make new dimension styles as well. But for now, you could just modify. And work your way across methodically. Arrows need to be 0.125, and AutoCAD's default is too big. And of course, they need to be closed-filled arrows. In the Text tab, the text is going to default to stupid-looking standard style, so you need to drop this down and select your new Arial text style. And then the height needs to be 0.125. Again, AutoCAD's is too big. You can set the scale now if you want to. This is the Fit tab. And you remember that this scale matches whatever your viewport scale is. Again, stay far away from annotative. Let me just say, if you have figured out how to use annotative, please share it with the rest of us, because it seems to be problematic, but maybe you've found the secret and we all would love to hear it. Then under primary units, select the precision. I assume you're in decimal already, not architectural. In mechanical drawings, we use 3 decimal places, so select that one. Oh, you know what else you need? You know what I forgot? 0 suppression. You need to suppress the leading 0. 0 suppression. Now a new leader style. Down arrow next to the leaders. And this style manager looks different from the dimension style manager, so that's handy. Just click each of these tabs one at a time and look for what it is you want. For example, here in the first one, there's the arrowhead size. You need to change that because AutoCAD is too big. You need to change the text height because AutoCAD is too big. And did I miss one? I think I did. Well, I guess not. Okay, sorry. You need to, in the Content tab, you need to make sure that both the left and right attachment, which means what side of the text is that arrow line attached to, both of them need to attach to the middle of the top line, not some dumb-looking underline thing. Okay, now we need to make a viewport. And to make a viewport, first you need to have the viewport layer current, so you don't have to move it later. Well, that means go back to the Home tab, so you can find your layer list again, and select the viewport layer. And in the Layer Manager, click that Plot button so that next to viewport, so that the viewport layer is a no print layer. That will make your drawing look right when you go to print it. Now we're going to make a viewport which is a layout viewport, and because of that you need to be in layout or paper space, which I'm in down here. That's because layout or paper space has a layout tab. If you are in model space, like here, there is no layout tab, so we want paper space. Here I am back in paper space. There's the layout tab, and over here near the left is a panel called Layout Viewports. So we're in the Layout tab, and we go over here and find Layout Viewports, and you'll notice you have several choices, a bunch of different ways you can make a viewport. You could just do a rectangular box, but that will cut off part of your drawing space. So I recommend you use the Polygonal viewport. That will let you click around all of the corners inside your title block and have a viewport that will fill the whole space, like this. Now, if you want to set the scale of the viewport, you double click inside to open the viewport and it lights up. Down here is the pop-up scale list, so select a scale. Add text to your title block. I've given you a little bit of text, but you can add some more. You can either type the text command or go up here to the ribbon, and you can use either multi-line or single-line text, whichever you are used to and like. I kind of like using single-line text for title blocky stuff because we're just doing one line at a time. And when you make the text, pay attention to the command line. It's talking to you. So it will ask you to specify the start point. So you click a point where you want the text to be. Then it asks you for the height. So here's where you enter 1/8 or whatever your height is going to be. Another thing you could do, though, is since some of the text is already in here, and it's the height you want for various things, you could just copy that text, like for making your bill of material, copy this text up here, and then edit that text. I type ED for edit. Edit that text to put in the new stuff. So, there you go. Holler if you have questions, though.